Oh, yeah. It'd be cool if I had different executions. Oh, damn it. I also... Did they ever do the double tap kick? I don't think they have. I think it was just the disciples that have that double tap kick. Still, the double tap kick is a kick that I use. It's different from a question mark kick. A question mark kick is a faint front kick to a high head kick. The double tap kick here is not that, because it's two strike. It's two actual strikes that you're intending to hit. Yes, the first strike isn't. One of the strikes' power is going to be heavily sacrificed. So, you know, it's effectively not too dissimilar from the question mark kick. Not a lot of people will throw the double tap kick, but for good reason. Like, there's a lot of reason why not to throw it. However, I'm really good at getting that second kick off to be pretty hard. Oh, fuck. Fuck me. Damn it. This is some tight spaces.
Round 2?
You're damn right I'm up for round 2. I can keep going, baby. You know, most people can't, but, you know, you might think I'm finished after I go down, but I can easily go some more. Just, you know, give me a little bit of time to rest sometimes or rejuvenate. But, you know, I'm not one and done most of the time. Most of the time I could go for more. But, you know what? Most of the time, you know, you're going to be done before I am. And that's fine. We don't have to keep going if you don't want to. I care much more about finishing you off than you finishing me off, you know? Time attack. Great. Great. Oh, I'm clipping the audio a little bit. I'm still... So my audio setup is in a lot of flux right now because I'm switching between my office and my living room a lot, and that means that I'm changing the setup. I still haven't quite figured out the perfect setup. I know kind of what I want. The goal is to eliminate as many post-processing steps as possible. Like the microphone I use, the Shure... Oh, great. The Shure SM7B is great. It sounds great, but it has a really significant drop-off in the higher frequencies. And so often to get the full benefit of the Shure, you need to boost those up in post. I don't feel like doing that. So I have one mixer that also has an equalizer on it where I can boost the higher frequencies in the recording right away. Oh, that's cool. That was cool. God damn it. This guy's gonna be hard to get because my usual tricks aren't gonna work. There we go. That worked exactly as intended. But yeah, I have one mixer that is got a built-in EQ to raise those higher frequencies, and then those plug into my main mixer. And the reason why I have two mixers is because the mixer with the EQ down mixes, which means it only has one stereo track at the end. But I like to keep tracks as separated as possible. So the other mixer that I have allows me for two stereo tracks. Well, not this one, my old one that I'm still fixing. But essentially, my old one, or the replacement I'm going to get for it, has 4 inputs, which are each their own separate stereo track. Whereas the one with the EQ has 2 inputs, and you can't separate the track. I am able to separate the channels, but they can't be separated into separate tracks. The Focusrite allows you to separate your channels into tracks. And so that's why I use 2 mixers. It also means that with the Shure, I don't need a preamp. Because the... oh! You're the first Super Saiyan I've encountered in arenas. Congratulations. The Where was I going? What was I saying? I got completely distracted. Completely lost my train of thought. That's embarrassing. My train of thought was probably made by Boeing. God damn it. Most but yeah, so that's why. And my audio's kind of been all over the place because I'm like trying to figure out what works best. It's complicated. I have a very complicated audio setup that it will always remain complicated because I don't feel like doing post-processing. I try to avoid it as much as possible. I do a ton of audio work. I don't like doing audio work because it requires like 100% of my concentration, and me having ADD, using 100% of my brain capacity is very annoying, very tiring, and I hate it. So, yeah, I try to eliminate as much audio editing as I can. To the point where if I do become more successful on YouTube, to the point where I can, like, hire somebody, I probably will hire somebody to do my audio. 'Cause I'm sure there are better ways to do it. Oh, yeah. Oh, you fucker. On a time trial, too? Jesus Christ. Making me do extra work here. I'm really glad that the spinning hook kick counts as a environment attack. Oh yeah, just I like how I threw it at point blank range. Oh my god. And yeah, I may not be the toughest, but I'm certainly tougher than you. Oh. Cunt punch. There we go. I really like the amount of variety in enemies in terms of gender. That's something that I appreciate. For those of you who've been around long enough to watch my Jedi Knight Jedi Academy playthrough, it was modded, like a lot of my playthroughs are. I modded in female enemies, more female enemies, just because you know, variety. Variety for the sake of variety is perfectly fine. I like variety. Variety is the spice of life, as they say, and I'm a spicy, spicy boy. Let's see how I did. Oh, okay. I'm doing honestly better than I thought. I am still dreading having to come back to these to get 3 stars on them. Because again, this playthrough is me platinuming the game, and I won't be platinum unless I get all 3 stars. Weapons cannot be lost. Weapons don't drop. Interesting. Score attack. I struggle with score attack on with weapons because I'm not very good at stringing together the combos to get points with weapons.
Came to the wrong place, pal.
Oh yeah.
Shit.
Oh yeah. Gimme score, buddy.
No way. No fucking way.
Oh yeah. Oh god. I really need to learn how to use a staff. Love it. Love it! Such a cool weapon. Such a cool weapon.
This is as far as you go.
Oh yeah. I really also want to learn Kenjutsu again. I did a little bit of Kenjutsu, which is traditional Japanese swordsmanship. Not Kendo. Kendo is a modern sport of swordsmanship, and there's a lot of things about it that I don't like. For one thing, the rule set leads to very unrealistic sparring. That, you know, it's all attack when bladed combat with swords is highly defensive
Doing in here, pal?
because you can survive being hit with a knife. You can survive being hit with a knife a lot of times. It's much harder to survive being hit with a sword. Swords are significantly more lethal, and so you simply can't afford. You simply cannot afford to be only aggressive with the sword. You have to be defensively minded. Because guess what? You can kill your opponent with a sword, and if you're not got your guard up, their attack can keep going, because guess what? Swords have inertia, and it can kill you. You can kill your opponent, and your opponent can kill you after death. It happened. It happened historically. So I prefer training methods and martial arts that take that into consideration, and Kendo simply does not. Now, to be fair, a lot of Kenjutsu schools and like tournaments and stuff don't take it into account either. That's something that you only really see in HEMA, which is the historical European martial arts. But that's because there's significantly less was significantly less demand to make historical European martial arts safer, because there wasn't really a period where European martial arts weren't still being used for combat, unlike in Japan. In Japan, because of their history, the training of proper weapon combat became, at best, heavily frowned upon, at worst, completely illegal. And so they lost a gigantic chunk of their culture because of that. And so they wanted to keep their culture alive, and so they made swordsmanship safer. You know, that way they can keep that part of their culture kind of alive, and the people whose job it was to teach martial arts could still work. So there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just not what I'm interested in. I'm more interested in learning the practical, useful combat forms with weapons than I am with the more sport and competition-oriented ones. Why? Because I'm a fucking nerd. I can envision myself maybe needing to use my weapons skills in real life, but quite frankly, if you're good enough to be able to use a weapon effectively, you're probably good enough at fighting in general to not need to use that weapon, and probably shouldn't anyway, because most juries don't like it when you use a weapon, unless it's a gun. Jury's far more likely to convict you if you use a knife or a sword or a stick than if you use a gun. It's really fucking weird, but it's true. Oh, yeah. I don't know what it is culturally that leads to that, but it is true. And so if you're good enough to use your hands... Oh my god. Oh my god. They did the fucking Phantom Menace. Holy shit. They did the fucking Phantom Menace. Holy shit. Oh, I love Star Wars references. Oh my god. Oh. That makes me so happy. They have golden knives. Fuck. Where was I going? Where was I going? Yeah, I really want to learn how to use a staff, but I don't want to learn how to use the fucking tapered sport versions. I want a full-size, non-tapered staff. I want to learn how to use a fucking sword the way it was meant to be used, not to be used as a stick to whack people in the head over and over again, and not worry about how many times my fucking opponent has cleaved me in half because I just kept hitting the other guy in the head without worrying about blocking his strike. Because that's what Kendo does. And, you know, it's not practical. If you're good enough to use a weapon, you're probably good enough to not use a weapon, and it's significantly easier to end an altercation without killing someone without using a weapon. It can still happen. It's something that you always have to take into consideration whenever you're about to have a confrontation with somebody. Like, if you feel like it's going to happen, you have to think to yourself, like, if it's something that you feel like, oh, I might have to fight, but I might not. Because there are times, it's never going, okay, there are going to be many times where it's not going to be black and white. You know? You might need to fight them, or you might not. You have to consider the fact that if you do fight them, the person could die, even if you don't want them to. No modifiers, interesting.
Came to the wrong place, pal.
And so, before you get into a physical altercation with somebody, it's important to consider that. Now, there are going to be times where, it is worth killing the person. That's worth the risk. If they die, it's their fault. And what I mean by that is, like, if they're robbing you, or they're already attacking you, or they have a weapon, and you gotta do what you gotta do to make sure that you survive. If that means fighting off your attacker and then your attacker dying, it's worth it. However, of course, there's a whole bunch of legal issues that come with that. So you should also be prepared to be able to defend yourself in a court of law before you do anything. Because guess what? You will have to defend yourself in the court of law. Self-defense does not end at the conversation. It ends when you get arrested and go through the trial. You're not always going to get arrested. I was not arrested in my one case of self-defense. Of course, in my one case of self-defense, I ended up running away in the end and did not stick around long enough for anybody to be apprehended. So, there are things like that. But, it is what it is. These are all things that need to be considered. And hey, and of course I should preface this by saying I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a police officer. I'm not even like a private investigator. So take what I say with a grain of salt. The laws regarding self-defense change from state to state. Sometimes it changes from county to county. So just, if you're going to be living in an area where you might have to defend yourself and you might have to like hurt people, whether you're affiliated with gang violence or you live in a rough part of a city where people sometimes get mugged or attacked, know your laws. Know when it's time to fight back. Learn when it's time to fight back and when, it's time to just do what they say. Guess what? Most of the time, it's going to be time to do what they say. That's on you, though. You got to take the courses. Try to find courses that teach you how to fight. A lot of self-defense courses don't teach you how to fight. Knowing how to fight is going to be significantly more useful than fucking knowing a few wrist locks and arm bars and stuff. No, learn how to fucking fight. 2, learn how to. The big one is learning. The big one, like I said, is just learning when it's time to just fucking let go of your ego and be like, hey, sorry dude, I don't want trouble. What do you want? What can I do? Or, hey, it's all good. Just take my fucking money. I don't care. Because guess what? That's how it's going to be most of the time. I have had to defend myself. I've had to defend myself seriously once. Like where I was afraid for my life. Once. And I was successful at it because I hit them with a technique that did a ton of damage and got them knocked down. I may have knocked them out. I don't know because I didn't stick around. I fought them until they were no longer a threat, and when they were no longer a threat, I fucking ran. Because that's what you do. The main legal trouble that you get in is when you don't stop. God damn it. You can usually stop before anyone gets seriously fucking injured. Not all the time, but usually.